2 days ago, on December 19th, a huge leak happened for Black Ops 2 Zombies. And I like this type of stuff, so let's go over it. So first off, this would have been DLC 5, I believe. It would have been sort of the Zombie Chronicles, which eventually ended up getting moved over to Black Ops 3. And this DLC has actually been rumored for a long time now. So initially, back in... This was October 18th, 2013. There was this image that surfaced in a Codename Pizza. I believe this was just normally online. I found somebody on Reddit talking about this, and then they linked back to this video. And I think this is the only sort of proof of this initial leak happening. So let's quickly watch.
So let me show you this image that we've got right here. It's in fact actually a video.
So it's just this. Actually, I'll just let it finish, and then I'll go back and talk about it. Let him do his thing.
Okay, guys.
All right. Sorry, Codename Pizza. I'm doing the talking right now. So as you can see here, Black Ops 2, and then it says Shangri-La. Shangri-La ended up being one of the maps that got leaked 2 days ago. I've got some footage of somebody going through it. So we'll look at the footage a little bit later. So more specifically, here is a sort of like master Reddit post. Reddit, I know, but just sort of a conglomerate here, and then we'll sort of go through the different videos and everything. So a build from Call of Duty Black Ops 2, the Zombies portion contains the scrap DLC 5 maps, both early versions of Origin and Buried. I did see Origin stuff. I have yet to see anything on Buried. So that's either not true or it just hasn't been recorded yet. Dating from August 2013 have been released. The video by Riley541 and Galaxy showcases Kirito Toten. We'll take a look at that video. On the Black Ops 2 Z build and footage of early Origins, which we'll also take a look at. Early work in progress, intro cutscene attached. And then, more specifically, what we'll end up looking at is the Jugger V2 1-hour footage. I've got them up here that I'm sort of covering with my face cam. The build contains the cut DLC 5 maps, World at War, plus Black Ops 1 maps, except for Call of the Dead. Call of Dead specifically was never realistically, remake. So back when this map came out in 2009, not to make any of us feel old or anything, it was the first celebrity cameo map. In like 2 through 4, they were just different voice actors. But in Black Ops 1, they were also specific characters. So you had Sarah Michelle Gellar, Robert Englund, Danny Trejo, Michael Rooker, and then George Romero. They were all sort of in the map talking, and it was their character models and everything, and they're sort of a bit too important for the map to easily just be able to replace them and then sort of bring the map forward. They did eventually remake it in Black Ops 4, but they kind of changed a ton of that map, to the point where it's sort of a remake only in how some of the map is, but it's the last map in the storyline. So they kind of had to redo everything. Let's see. And early versions of Origins are buried. Again, couldn't find buried stuff. So naturally, the Black Ops 2 DLC 5 myths and rumors are technically real. However, the DLC 5 idea was brought on to become the Zombies Chronicles for Black Ops 3 Zombies. We'll see that with a lot of how far in the work clearly got, they must have been able to easily port it over to the next engine, or the next version of the engine. I think they're all IE or IW engine, and then Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 used the 4.0. I think 2 used a more advanced 4.0 version, and then Black Ops 3 ended up using 5.0, I think, and I think we're up to 9.0. They've just kept using this engine for a lot of the CODs. They've just been updating it and sort of pushing it further and further. So now let's go over to Riley541's video. First off, in the comments, thanks to this guy for release, Christmas present, the biggest Call of Duty so far. I recovered 2 more builds from an Activision kit that I released the COD Ghost and COD AW builds from previously. I couldn't find anything on this specifically when I looked. The closest thing I got was typing in... Where is it? Here we go. Something like... Let me move my camera. Wrong thing. The camera. I locked the camera, dumbass. There. Nope, that's not it. Oh, this is staying in. That's funny. So whenever I typed in like Riley 541 Call of Duty anything, when it leaks, it was mainly just the Twitter account, which I'll quickly pop up, and then a lot of stuff about the dog from Ghosts. So if I type in this, Ghosts build, Ghost user epic class setup stuff, but more specifically talks about the dog and stuff. And then the other one was called a W. Advanced Warfare. Advanced Warfare. Build. Again, I got nothing too specific from him on it. Just sort of linking back to his Twitter. In terms of his YouTube channel itself, I also couldn't find anything on that, but he's got a ton of different sort of pre-release builds. There's even, I guess, a future Warfare game, Call of Duty game, that got canceled, and he's got a bunch of sort of videos on it. But in terms of sort of this Activision kit he has, I have no idea how he got it, where he got it from. Might have been through hacking in, maybe he knew somebody that knew. And then the same is with his Twitter. So he doesn't tweet much, but there's a couple cool different little things. Like here's the Future Warfare is what it was? Is that what it was called? Future Warfare, yeah. There's also this other one I saw which was cool that he retweeted from the Rank 1 Slork. It's really sad that stuff like this cut trading mission from World at War are kept pretty much secret for 15 years, apart from the 4 images left over in the retail files. And then apparently there's also a British campaign. I had no idea. I didn't even know about this actually until I started researching this a little bit. So that's cool. That's not in the final game. And then if you just keep going back, 2023, 2022, 2022, nothing really about these sort of builds he talked about. So I have no idea about this part. I assume it's real and everything, and it's just somewhere hidden that I don't know. But anyway, to move forward, 2 builds of Black Ops 2 Zombies dated June and August 2013, including the unreleased DLC 5. First playable is a build containing only Origins in its first playable version, so pretty early with DLC 5 listing in menus, the debug executable for ZM is overwritten, but we can use cluster 1. I don't know what that means. I'm just reading off what he put here. Oh yeah, he also put the files here, in case you want to go to his video. Cluster of files was pulled out in August 2013. It contains wow, I can't read right now. It contains DLC 5, fast files but not listing in menus. For some reason, early buried map file but not the scripts going with it. ZM buried patch FF, who includes them is from retail version, and 2 cut maps named Transit and Transit DR. There's also COD MP.exe and COD SP.exe debug executables, as well as PIX profiles. So I don't fully know what some of that words means. I assume these other transits were the different locations in transit. Buried is bootable, removing the patch file even though no script will be loaded. I couldn't find a way to load ZM Transit, TM, or DR yet. So again, this is only day 2 of this. I guess now it's day 2 actually, because I'm recording this at 2:27 in the morning. But yeah, this was all released on the 19th, and I think the Shangri-La footage was the most recent one, and this was nabbed 18 hours ago. So there'll probably be a couple more cool things coming out in a day or 2. But I kind of wanted to cover it now, just to sort of jump ahead of the curve. Best approach I've seen was to combine the 2 builds into one, so we'll skip ahead a little bit here. But it came with a downside, selecting most DLC files and menus will lead to a menu error. So yeah, overall, here's the merge build if you want to go into it and download it and mess around with it, if that's type of your thing. The original files. Personally, to me, not really my forte. I love cut content and sort of seeing dev stuff, but I have no idea what I'm doing with any of that. So here is Kino der Toten a little bit. I'm gonna have a drink while I shoot ahead a little bit. So inherently he had to create a server to connect to for this. You can see he's the host up here in the corner. Let's get ahead of it. So once again, let's move my camera. So there's a bunch of different dev stuff. I don't know specifics on how anything here. Here is it trying to load certain things and telling you what it couldn't load. I know that much. So clearly fully loaded in, and then you these are in a couple different maps. I think it's everything that had it was either a swastika or the... Was it a German cross or was it the German bird? I forget which it was on these original maps. But essentially any of those with any of these maps had delete me. The volume? Yeah. So we're not going to go super all over. Like, we're not going to watch the start to finish. I don't want to watch the start to finish. But clearly you can see able to load in. The stuff here is the same. There's a debug menu. Game seemed to work. Where does he pack a punch? So here we go. So clearly this was still at a point where it was mostly working. Again, it's the same engine. They just sort of had to port it. More of, yeah, I guess more of a port than a remake, if anything, for some of these maps. At least. Especially since Black Ops 1 also ported World at War maps. So that's about all I kind of want to cover for this video, just because it's this map, but it's in Black Ops 2. You can sort of see different bits on the debug menu. Obviously, just when they were testing out, giving it to the QA people to test out. Here he is, no clipping, moving the camera around while keeping the character there. Just little stuff like this. Oh, well, cool. We don't need to go over everything. So let's jump ahead to Jugger V2's video. So this one we're going to go over a lot more. To start off, the first 5 seconds we're going to watch, just to see the sort of like spawning into the choosing your map. So as you can see, Black Ops 2 went with the globe for those that are too young to remember this game. And there's only 5 or 6 maps, which felt kind of odd for a whole circle of the world. Anything with like an actual icon was in the base game, and then these 5s were meant for the DLC 5. So as you can see, kind of going all around the world. And then we'll cover this later. We'll cover this in a little bit. So I guess they just kind of grabbed one and started going. So next up, the biggest part we'll talk about is Origins. The Tombo. I don't think he's French. So to start off, like I said, I read earlier, there's a work in progress version of the Origins intro we will watch. I don't think any audio is playing. I didn't listen to it with audio beforehand when I was like skimming through the video and getting bits and pieces. But yeah, as you can see, cinematography is still there. Obviously, these are like pre-rendered things, so it's easy to keep. I don't know what those are for. So stuff that was already done, but anything that would be in the map. Textures obviously haven't finished. The camera work is sort of still there. What it reminds me, honestly, is not like storyboards, but the next step of like sort of putting it into motion and seeing how they like it and what they want to do with each bit and piece. Lighting is obviously there, not there. I love that. So for placeholders, they have the campaign models, and then these are just civilian models, right? Or just like, yeah, these are like fucked up civilian models. So just imagine Shepherd of Fires playing. There's no audio playing at all. Here you go, it's at max. I'm gonna put it back down. So interesting enough, a lot of the camera angles actually stuck around till the end. So that's pretty cool, in my opinion. I was about to be like, oh fuck, I'm gonna click right to go ahead. So the next interesting part is these are the Black Ops 1 models, I think. That or very poorly done versions of World at War models, I'm unsure. Obviously they don't look like Primus at all yet. They're just fun little action shots. Again, I don't know. Actually, is there much more to sort of go through on this part? I don't think there is, realistically. Oh, yeah. Different zombie models, for some reason. We have Mob of the Dead models here. I don't know the purpose of suddenly switching over to Mob of the Dead models instead of the other ones, but just little fun bits. There actually is some lighting here. I guess it's meant to simulate the dark. And then you've probably seen this screenshot. I think this was Mr. Dalek GD's thumbnail. Looks like a fucking Iron Giant. Alright, cool. Now we get into the fun part. So throughout this, we're not gonna sit here and watch it. I'm gonna skim through. There's enough to watch, or skim through in Origins, and then the rest is just sort of, hey, here's the map. Here's how it sort of looks. So you managed to connect with a friend. You might be able to do that if you can personally get this stuff up and running. These early versions. The next important thing, so obviously Maxis's table isn't there. So here is what the machines looked like at the time. Actually, I'm going to full screen this. Fuck it. Let's full screen it. Fuck it. No, like, fully done textures or anything, and then the zombies themselves are still Mob of the Dead zombies. So I guess they hadn't created the model yet for Notham. So now we can jump ahead a bit. Where... Fuck, I should have written down timestamps. Give me a moment. Alright, I skipped ahead a bit. Enough. So here is a whole section that didn't make it into the final product. It is a little village that you can run into. So go through a couple doors, and here you go. A little village square. Inouye. One of the staff parts, as you just got picked up, would clearly be here. One of the conversion generators is here to spawn things. We can go and skip ahead of it. When does he... Here we go. So some of the buildings were enterable, had different spawns. Did I skip where he buys the door? Sort of. Not really. And then... Yeah, so essentially there's going to be a whole little village, and it is going to have a bit more sort of inside it. On the gramophone. Visual placements for stuff. Is this where he gets sucked up? Wow, I really should have grabbed timestamps for this part. Yep, it's where he gets sent up. So here's what the inside of one of these guys looked like. Just super fucking bare bones. And then the way out. Clearly the Panzer Soldats were still working well enough. Odd that the textures for... I mean, I guess these are different textures that they can't just easily as load in, right? But you'd also think that way for the Panzer Soldat, because I think that doesn't appear anywhere else. Although he does look a little rougher around the edges. I think that's, for the most part, what I wanted to go over in this part of the footage. So, where does he make the staff? He's trying to figure out which one it is. Here we go. So there is. The staffs were, I guess, just... So we only ever see the Thunder and the Frost one. Or no, the Fire and the Frost one. And they're just, like, placeholder models with the color for what they're supposed to be. But, if he bothers firing them, they still do the fire, the effects and everything. I shouldn't have put it off there. Okay, the last important part that I want to go over. So, I mean, I guess there's different traps around the map. I don't really care. I don't think that's as interesting. So, the initial way to upgrade these staffs was not through the Crazy Place. The Crazy Place did not exist yet. It was through areas like this, where you would have to do little puzzles. Hold on, he's about to shoot these on the ceiling. There you go. So yeah, you do little puzzles, and that's how you would get the upgrades for everything. Well, that's about it for Origins. So now we can we'll start skimming through the rest of them. So next up is Moon. Here is Area 51. A little bit. Obviously, it looks like the textures aren't fully updated or done yet, but it's still in a playable state. We actually go to the Moon. F-14 is not the base gun from the final game, I think. It's been so long since I played... Actually, when I say so long, I mean earlier this year since I played Black Ops 2, but... Yeah. So at one point he attempts to do the Easter egg, and it seems like it's in enough of a state that you still could do some of it. So he doesn't talk at all throughout this, so I don't know if he just messes up or something.
Excavator pi. Control restored.
But yeah, so the map is in a good enough position. There's more playing. I like the fact that it said microwave gun on the side there. I remember seeing this when I was skipping through, and I'm like, ah, I like microwave when they say microwave guns. So here is Vrucht. It's honestly the same fucking map. So that's cool. It's foul temporary, and then they've clearly changed some of the wall stuff to be Black Ops 2 stuff. But for the most part, otherwise, it's actually just the same. Actually, I'm wrong. Hold on. Wonder Weapon section. So yeah, you get the jet gun in this. And clearly the zombies don't fully work yet. Follow me. Here it is. So this part's interesting. So the jet gun doesn't fully work yet. Clearly. So he's managed to kill some of them, and then the ones that did die just stand there. They just stay standing here. And I guess everybody else freaks out for some reason. And then at one point, hold on, let me skip ahead a bit more. You can get the Winter's Howl. I forget if this is in there in Black Ops 3 version. It's been forever since I've played those versions of it, but doesn't even have sound effects yet. Alright, skipping ahead. Shinonuma. This one, from what is literally just the same. Just needed some updated textures and everything. Literally the same. To the point where I don't actually really think there's... From what I went through, there's like no reason... Oh, wait, hold on. Does he fire this one? I know in the Der Riese footage later on, he fires it. No. Maybe? Weapon Inspector. I don't know if he fires it in this part of the footage. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. So then I can just cover it here instead of doing Der Riese. So yeah, it seems to just explode them. It doesn't do the electricity stuff isn't in the, like, the effects and everything aren't here yet. It just fucking explodes them. So that's great. So now we go ahead to Der Riese. Again, textures clearly aren't fully done. Lighting seems to be pretty close to there, but it's still in a playable state. Since we covered this footage already, again, it just shoots explosives for development. They do the Der Riese Easter egg. Knocked. Again, just nothing to really say. It's just knocked. Lighting's clearly not done yet, as you can see by his hand right here. But that's... So these are all... I guess the point I want to drive home is that these are all in a pretty good state. These are all in a pretty good state. And then you get to Ascension, which I guess there's no audio, which is fine. I'm probably playing music in the background already. Again, textures looked fucked. I don't think the monkeys spawn in at all. When I went through the whole footage, I don't remember seeing the monkeys at all. So I don't know if they got put into the game yet. Obligatory... Where is it? Is he gonna show us PhD Flopper? No, I don't think he's gonna show us PhD. Wait. Because when this... Yeah, there's... Okay, so Flopper is still in here, because when this map does get brought to, Black Ops 3, they have to get rid of Flopper, because there's no belly plopping. They get rid of it for Widow's Wine. But for the most part, it all... I mean, again, it all works. And we go to Kino, which we've already seen some of. And it all pretty much works still. And then up ahead to 5. Which still has no audio. I don't know why there's no audio for the Kino version. Since the other Riley's footage had audio. I don't remember if What's-His-Face comes in. It's also interesting that clearly... I think... No, I don't think 5... Did 5 make it into Chronicles 3? Or for Black Ops 3? I don't remember. But you can see his clothes are the same as the President's and everything were on this map. Just real quick, I want to shoot ahead. I don't remember seeing... What's-His-Face? The Pentagon Thief. I don't remember what his name is in lore. Yeah. So I'm not seeing it. Anyway, we've got one more to cover. And that is Shangri-La. So out of all of them, this one does have audio. But this one is in an even more incomplete state. Obviously, textures and everything still look a bit off. Lighting is a bit off. But, what point does it? Skip ahead of it. So, can't go through is what he's trying to do here. He's trying to buy it. Can't physically buy it. So what he does... This one also can't buy. So what he has to do is he has to go into the developer mode, and then it's called toggle UFO mode, which is no clip. No clip. So he has to toggle it on and off to be able to get around the map. So this isn't this one, at least in the current state that we've got the footage. This might change. Again, this is only day 2, technically. I guess day 1.5 since all this got announced or got shown. So we will likely be able to... Oh, actually, there is some sound. Interesting. Because he just fired the gun and there wasn't before. I actually found this right before recording. I was doing a little bit more like searching and I was like, oh, perfect. I found a comment that links to this video. It's great. But yeah, again, this is all new. There's a solid chance that in the coming days, people will be able to get their hands on this a bit more and be able to get regular mode stuff to work. So while this is playing, thank you to NickCool2901. There are other stuff on their account. For the most part is, yeah, other alpha builds and everything. And then a real quick, because I used a lot of his video, Jugger V2, also does other glitches, modded stuff, type of things. So I'm going to let this one play. Just a little bit. And there's 2 quick things I want to go over. First off, let me pull the questions up. First off, why would this have been canceled? Clearly, these maps are in a really good spot. Some of them are currently, like, playable. I mean, they're all playable, but they're in various states of playing. So why would this have gotten canceled? Obviously, people would have loved this, would have made a ton of money. There's a couple different theories I have. The first is that the release of this this map pack, this DLC 5, would have either been too close, or I saw some people theorize during Ghosts, either after its release or when people were busy trying to market it off to people. Releasing this too close to it would have probably deterred from sales from Ghosts, or made it a little tougher to sell Ghosts. Maybe I'm not a big marketing person or anything, but I know that typically you don't want to be releasing stuff for the old one too close to the new one. So there's that potential option. The other is potentially they were looking at sort of budget, and they're looking at the amount of people still playing the game and thought, well, there's enough people playing for how much money we're currently throwing at these DLCs. So let's, instead of have them continue to focus throwing their efforts at this, let's have them go build the next one. And if things are going well with that, we can potentially move it over. Which ended up being what happened. Almost all of these maps. I still don't remember if 5 is in Black Ops 3. I don't think it is. I don't remember it being in Black Ops 3. I'm probably wrong, though. But luckily, moving it over, a lot of the work is already done. You just have to sort of update it for the engine and everything, and just fill out some of the new guns and stuff. So those are, I think, the most likely theories on why it got cut. Now, what does us getting our hands on this mean moving forward? Well, not a whole lot, realistically. It's cool to sort of see all this stuff and sort of know about it, and I guess you can sort of have it preserved, but for the average person, this is just kind of cool to know. Black Ops 2 never really got a modding support, or like a modding scene. There's some mods here and there, but they're sort of just textures from what I've been able to sort of look up. Unlike World at War, Black Ops 1, and Black Ops 3, all of them had really big modding support. In fact, people still, I mean, if you go to like Noah J's channel or Mr. Waffle Waffles, you still see them making videos on these new these new workshop custom mods. And I mean, people have even like remade Black Ops 1s. I've personally played Call of the Dead in Black Ops 3 on a stream. And I think a couple months ago... Oh, the slowing effect on the mud isn't even there in the footage. I think a couple months ago, they released a fully working Mob of the Dead on it. So yeah, that's sort of what it means forward. Maybe people will get this at a point where if you're capable of, if you're savvy enough, you could host a server yourself and then get some friends in. The footage with this footage is what's happening on some of this. Clearly he's hosting a server. Clearly Jugger is hosting a server and getting his friend to join in, at least for Origins. It seems the others are not at that point yet. So, if we go here, no, also, yeah, Kino. Alright, so I'm gonna assume these are not at the point yet where they can do that. Maybe with some extra work getting thrown at them, it will. I have no doubt that people are gonna try throwing their hands at this and seeing what they can sort of accomplish. Seeing if, for the PC version of Black Ops 2 at least, you get it to the point where you can load these in just regularly and be able to play them, even if it's only single player. That'd be cool. But that's about it for now. Like I said, over the next couple days, we will see how people pluck away at this. We might start seeing more of the buried. I might make a buried video if there's enough there, or enough other stuff comes out with it. But for now, that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed.